Hello and Assalamu alaikum students. In previous class we have discussed about cell. Cell is the basic unit of all living organisms, and we have discussed on the basis of number of cells we can divide unicellular and multicellular organisms, and we have discussed about the instrument by which we can see unicellular organisms, that was microscope, and we have discussed specimen as well. Now we are going to discuss typical plant and animal cell, the structure of plant cell. We have discussed that thing. Cell is the basic unit, structural as well as functional. Now we are going to see in detail what is the structure of the cell. Okay, so plant and animal cells. Plant and animal cells are made up of many cells. They are multicellular organisms. Are plants and animal cells alike? Both plants and animals both are living organisms and they are made up of many cells. But the question is, are plants and animal cells alike? How can we differentiate one from the other? So we will find the answer. In this video, look at these diagrams. Can you tell which are plant cell and which are animal cell? This one is plant cell and this one is animal cell. Now look at this picture. A typical plant cell, Alveolia plant, when you see under the microscope, you can observe that this type of cell. A plant is made up of different types of cells. However, all plant cells share certain similarities and have basic parts. So we are going to discuss these basic parts of the cell. Okay, this is plant cell. Look at all these parts. First one is cell wall. This is the outer covering of the cell. An inner covering is known as cell membrane. I am just telling the name, we will discuss one by one. This is nucleus. This is large vacuole, you can see. And these disc-like structure are known as chloroplast. And this liquid part is known as cytoplasm. Cyto means cell, plasm means liquid. Cell is filled with cytoplasm. These are the parts of a typical plant cell. Although cells appear flat, they are three-dimensional. Now we will discuss one by one: cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, vacuole, chloroplast and cytoplasm. Okay. Cell wall. As you know, you can see the name cell wall. So it gives stiffness and rigidity to the plant. It is a strong and stiff structure made up of cellulose. It supports a plant cell and gives it a regular shape. You can see plants are on the ground and plants are on the soil and they have a particular shape, and this because of cellulose. Cellulose is a material, it is made up of oxygen, hydrogen and carbon. Actually it contains a lot of fiber. We don't have any enzymes by which we can digest. We cannot digest this cellulose. Paper, paper is made up of plant. Paper come from plant. So paper is also made up of cellulose. This is covering. This is cell wall. And we don't have cell wall. Only plant cell have this cell wall because they need more protection. Okay, next structure is cell membrane. It is inside cell wall. This is a thin layer that control the movement of materials into and out of the cell. You know, plants absorb water and minerals from the soil, so this cell membrane is responsible for this absorption. It is partially permeable, that is, it allows only certain materials to pass through. Partially permeable means it allows only particular type of particles. There are three types of membrane: partially permeable, permeable, and impermeable. Partially permeable, also known as semi-permeable or half permeable. It means it allows only half type of, you can say, or particular type of particles. Permeable means allows all type of particles. Impermeable means doesn't allow any particle, just like a skin of drum. Okay, cell is filled with a liquid that is known as cytoplasm. It is jelly-like material. Jelly-like means consistency is not as liquid. It is semi-solid. So it is jelly-like and contains other cell parts such as nucleus. You can see nucleus in the cytoplasm, chloroplast, and vacuole. New materials are constantly being made and broken down in the cytoplasm. Due to large vacuole, you can see this is large vacuole, the cytoplasm of a plant cell is reduced to a thin lining. You can say this lining is cytoplasm, and this, because of vacuole, it reduced to thin lining. When you see animal cells, so you can see cytoplasm fill the whole structure. It is not as in lining, but in plant cell, because of vacuole, it reduced to lining. Now the next structure is nucleus. Nucleus, you can say nucleus is the brain of plant cell. It controls all activities. It controls all the activities of the cell, including cell repair. It contains thread-like structure called chromosomes. Actually, these chromosomes are the main part of this nucleus. Chromosomes, which are made up of DNA and proteins. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. And actually, these DNA contains a factor that is known as genes. And these genes are responsible to inherit information or characteristics from parents to offspring. So genes are parts of the chromosomes which store information to be passed down from one generation to the next one. So wheat plant grows, obviously wheat plant, mango seeds grow mango plant. So these information are stored on this factor, genes. So plant cell also have chromosomes and genes as well. Okay, and the next one that is very, very important, chloroplast. These are disc-like structure which contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, and the plant leaves green color is because of this pigment. And just because of this pigment, plants absorb light, and this light gives energy to make food. So chlorophyll traps light so that plants can make food during photosynthesis. You can see these disc-like structures are known as chloroplast. Actually, these are the structure in which chlorophyll is filled. This disc-like structure is known as chloroplast, and the pigment that is filled in is known as chlorophyll. So this chlorophyll is responsible to trap light. Otherwise, other cells are not able to make food because they don't have this pigment. And the last one is vacuole. Vacuole means vacant. This vacant space is known as vacuole, but it filled with cell sap, which contains substances such as sugar, minerals, salt dissolved in water. Actually, vacuole store extra food in form of cell sap, and it contain a lot of space. This just because of big in size. It is filled with cell sap, which contains substances such as sugar and mineral salt dissolved in water. The cell sap keeps the cell firm by taking in water. A plant cell usually has a single large vacuole which form the biggest part of the cell. You can see this, the biggest part of the cell, and most of the part of cell is filled with vacuole. So this was all about the cell. Again, you can revise or you can label this diagram: cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, chloroplast, vacuole, and cytoplasm. So these all are the part of the cell, and I have told the function as well. You have to read all this structure with their function, and you have to solve a worksheet which I have to give after this. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.